Okay, so a question came in about the triangle choke, and the question was, is it necessary to have that arm through the loop that I'm creating with my legs when I'm finishing the triangle? So before I get to that, the first thing I want to say is if you are practicing this at home, it's actually better to practice this at a training center where it's a more controlled environment, because if you slap on this triangle and you're doing it incorrectly, you can either injure your partner's neck and it can turn into a neck crank, or you can be squeezing so hard that your partner falls asleep if you're doing it correctly, and your partner needs to know that they have to tap you. So unless you're in a training center, you wouldn't know this. Of course, I'm telling you now, but it's better to practice this in an environment where there's an instructor. Getting back to the question, is it necessary to have that arm in when you're finishing the triangle? This really depends on the size of your legs and the size of your partner's neck. If you have bigger legs, you are not really going to need that arm in. It might be tougher for you to lock up the triangle and finish. If you have smaller legs, if they're a little bit thinner, then you are going to need that arm in as a wedge so that it's cutting off circulation on that side of the neck. Alright, so my leg, first of all, my partner's posture needs to be down. I need to bring this arm across in my case because my legs are a little bit smaller. And now what I'm doing also is I'm changing the angle so that I'm getting a little bit more perpendicular so that I have space to kind of lock up that triangle. Where I'm locking it up right beneath my knee. So my knee is going right over top of the ankle, and I'm just kind of pushing down and squeezing together. If your partner does not tap, maybe they have a bigger neck, all I need to do is I'm going to bring my hands over top of their head, pull the head down, and it tightens it up a little bit faster. If my partner tries to stand up, right, because he's a bigger dude, he can stand up, he can slam me to the ground. What I'm going to do from there is I'm going to change the angle by going right underneath his leg here and pulling the leg towards me. So now he's a little bit more off balance. Now he can't really stand up. Try to stand up. Right, he can't stand up. Also, my triangle is starting to get really tight, and gradually he's going to fall asleep if I keep squeezing. Okay, so here is a bonus technique for when you're not using the arm. So if the arm isn't there, what I need to do, I still need to create some kind of wedge, because what I need to do is cut off circulation on this side of the carotid artery. So I'm going to bring my arm across, going palm up, and I'm just going to grab the outside of my leg here. Now when I lock it up and I squeeze together, right, it's a really quick finish. So you can try that out as well. Again, try to find a training center close to you so that you can do this in a more controlled environment and an instructor can point out any mistakes that you're making, and so that you can practice on different body types as well.